I'm gonna get a drink. Get a drink real quick. Where's my Kindle? Is it there? There you go. Guys, because of my headache last night, I was supposed to have a meeting with some people that was going to help me add a couple things to my stream, but it didn't happen, and I'm sorry. So hopefully tomorrow or sometime this week. Alright, so here we go. Chapter 19. Awkwardly switched unfortunate moment. Oh, wait. Before I start. Oh, I'm so glad I remembered. Hey, Bohemian. Are you very familiar with Discord? Because I have a question. Where are you? Here we go. Let's get this puzzle going. Which I also need to figure out how to do the custom thing. Here we go. My puzzles. Kind of. Do you know how to get people, like, you know how like some Discords make it where you have to assign yourself roles before you can like interact? Because that's kind of what I'm looking. He knows a lot. So maybe he would know how. Just because like with the book club, because not everybody is wanting to be part of the book club, but just so that those people can assign themselves roles for me too, so I don't have to keep on trying to assign those. Okay, I don't know if this puzzle's done. No, it's not. Okay, so let's continue this. There may be a echo, and I apologize for a minute. Yeah, can you ask? I appreciate it. Thank you. There we go. For anybody that wants to do the puzzle while I'm reading. Let's start a raffle for y'all. And Bohemian, I think I might still have your address, so you might not have to send me your address for last month. Alright, thank you. Okay. Your first time? You were a virgin? For crying out loud. I put my hands on the back of my neck, ruffling my hair slightly as I processed the fact that I had taken Ethan's virginity, and what made it 10 times worse was that he didn't even want me to do so. Ethan, I swear, I had no idea. Good gods above, I am an idiot. If I had known, then I would have been so much more careful with you. I wasn't sure how to handle this situation, and I was panicking. I had only claimed the body with Mark, but not Ethan. I felt like I had no right to even try with Ethan. Not currently now. I'm a little confused. Oh yeah. Crap, I don't know if she's still in here. Dang it. I also have that mouthpiece thing I forgot about. Anyways, yeah, my first time, and it's okay. You didn't know. It's not your fault. Ethan said, a bit uneasy at the moment. I felt absolutely horrible about the whole situation. So after a good moment, I approached Ethan slowly. I would have handled your first time so much differently, Ethan. I'm so sorry. I want to make it up to you. Especially as Mark and we want to give us a chance. And as you share a body, well, your thoughts and feelings might matter. I said, dropping my gaze from his, though it remained unsaid. Ethan could literally be what stops Mark and I from being together as lovers. Corvin, your apology is accepted, and if you and Mark want to be together, I'm not going to stop you. I personally think it would be good for the both of you. He then looked down, and as I followed his gaze, I noticed that he had still had a raging hard on. Ethan, that will go away on its own, given some time. Unless, of course, you decide to actually do something with it. I mean, if you want, I could give you pleasure that I haven't given Mark yet. I was beyond relieved that he did not mind Mark and I being together, plus his forgiveness. But there still remained an issue of Ethan's first moment being stolen from him. Ethan blushed tremendously before asking nervously, Will you be gentle? I let my thumb gently stroke his chest as I nodded my answer. You could tell me to stop at any time, given time, if you feel uncomfortable, Ethan. It seemed to give him some comfort on the matter, and I motioned towards a stump nearby for this. He went and sat down as I requested. Do you want me to strip down? Ethan asked of me, but I shook my head no. No, I think for this, and especially after what happened with that switch, and the fact I unintentionally stole your first time from you, I owe you pleasure, and I'm happy to give it to you, I said as I knelt down between his legs. Scooting myself in between his legs, as I had done countless times back at the inn, I placed my hands upon his thighs before squeezing them gently. How will you give me that pleasure? And it's not your fault that you took my first time. With that switch, it's something that couldn't be helped. Ethan murmured as I told him that I would show him. I put my hand on his to stop him from unbuttoning his pants before running a finger along the ridge that served as evidence of the bulge beneath. Carefully, I pulled out his cock before bringing my mouth close enough to him that my warm breath teased him. Now, let's get this going. Whoops, if I could spell raffle. I could feel his breathing grow heavy, and I could see the goosebumps creep across his skin. I slowly stroked his length to help get him used to that touch before I moved to kissing that soft hood with the silky tip within it. I carefully, and with some skill, I ran my tongue up the length to swirl around it as I suckled on it. I was very much enjoying how he tasted. It wasn't long, though, before I could feel Ethan's body trembling, and then he spoke just loud enough to hear him clearly say, I don't like it, Corbin. I'm so sorry. I immediately stopped and removed my mouth from him before wiping him down. It's fine, Ethan. I said quietly before helping Ethan to his feet. Once Ethan had been taken care of properly, I walked away. His rejection of me had stung my pride quite a bit, but I did not want his sympathy, nor did I want to make him feel bad about the situation. So to distract myself, I busied myself around camp. I grabbed some fresh herbs to finish prepping for some of the various medication we would need. I really wanted to put the whole rejection thing behind me. So when Ethan came into camp, I asked, Hey Ethan, will you fetch me some water from the local stream down there? I'm trying to mix some of the medicines that we need together." Ethan got that water for me immediately. I'm sorry about earlier, but it will be fine. In the end, everything will be fine," he said, but sounded anything but just fine when, with his genuine looking smile, I could see right through it all. "Ethan, it's fine. I just wanted to try for Mark's sake. It's something that I will accept from you. That is not something you are interested in, and move forward. You are my apprentice and Mark my potential lover. That is if he and I work things out. I didn't mention that there would likely be more awkward situations like that, though, where he comes into charge while Mark and I were busy. But I hid that under my mashing of the herbs together." "Work things out?" he asked as he sat beside me to watch what I did and how I did my medicine mixtures. Ethan was a smart man and one that had a very strong feeling would become a phenomenal doctor in his own right. "I would also like to go into town with you tomorrow, or whichever one of us is in charge. Yes, he and I still have things to work out in our relationship. The fact that you and he share a body, and I know you don't care for me in that manner, makes things a bit more complicated. But it's fine. We will adapt and learn how to make this work. As for town tomorrow, yes, taking you into town will be a good idea. I know Mark mentioned wanting to get something. Can you seal these with wax for me, Ethan?" Unaware of how my words had actually hurt Ethan, but he took the bottles to go do as I had requested. He was seemingly happy, which made me happy in the end. Whoops. I ruffle. Even though Ethan seemed really quite happy in himself at last, I couldn't help but wonder if he truly was all right. It consumed my mind enough that I was distracted. I watched him seal several bottles just to make sure that he was not going to struggle with the task. But seeing that he knew what he was doing, I turned my mind back to my own task, which for a good long while I worked at the medicines. But then my mind began to wander once more, a nagging feeling that although Ethan looked okay, he actually wasn't okay. It was concerning enough for me as I deeply cared about his well-being. I might even say I loved him, though I was afraid to admit it to myself. The distraction, however, was enough that when I stood up, I ended up accidentally spilling all of my carefully prepped herbs on the ground, ruining everything. I growled now, very irritated, and began to clean it up. After a good moment, I came over to where Ethan was sealing the bodies. I was thoroughly impressed with his work. His seals were very thorough and neat, much neater than mine ever were. "I am impressed, Ethan. These are very well done," I said, and Ethan nodded his acknowledgement of this. But in that moment of distraction, he burned his hand with wax, causing him to jump. He then dropped the bottle out of the reaction and burned his hand further. Ethan's cry of pain threw aside everything else that I was feeling, and I immediately knelt beside him to attempt to tend to him. "Ethan," I cried out with concern, "you gotta be careful. Are you okay?" I asked as I peeled off the hardened wax before attending to the burns. Did I say bodies? My bad. Supposed to be bottles, yes. Ethan almost immediately pulled his arm from my grasp. When he started to fall, I tried to grab his hand, but I was too late. He fell back and sliced his hand open on some of the glass on the ground. With tears in his eyes, he snapped at me, lashing out in his pain. Why do you even care? I just caused problems between the two of you and Mark. I make things harder for the two of you to be together. I make things complicated. If I could leave, I would. It would make the two of you happier without me. Everyone seems to be happier without me. Everyone would be better off without me. For you and my brother, I'll find a way to get us to normal. Brothers and not the same person. That way I won't be in your way. I won't be the problem anymore. Gone was the sweet, bubbly personality that I had come to know from Ethan. This sudden change to a verbal attack hurt quite a bit. All I wanted to do was help, so I sat beside him before trying to take his hand back. Ethan, Mark and I don't even know if things will work out between us. I want to try and include you into it. Let me help you with that cut, please. Body. Alright. His reaction to the touch was harsh and immediate. Slapping my hand away from him, he spat out, "Don't touch me. I make things complicated for the both of you. I understand that. I cause problems between the two of you. I understand that. I am a problem. I understand that. You two have a better chance if I'm not around. And if it wasn't for us being fused together, I'll make things better for both of you and I'll leave, because I am a problem. I have always been, and there isn't anything I can do to change that. I'm a burden, and I get that. I know it's true, no matter how much I say it isn't. I always have been, and I always will be. Can't help that the pleasure you tried to give me earlier made me feel uncomfortable, and I'm sorry it hurt you and that it caused you problems. I'm sorry I can't do anything right. I'm sorry that I can't do anything good enough for those around me. So don't touch me. Don't even come near me." With that, he stood up and grabbed at his hair harshly before suddenly just taking off into the forest. Ethan, come back!" I cried out after him, and to my shock, I was completely ignored. I growled out my frustration. I had only been trying to help and repair the relationship, and that had blown up in my face completely. I punched a stump nearby, and I let out a cry of pain. I definitely had injured my hand. I took a moment to roughly wrap it up when my head shot up upon hearing a scream of anguish. I scrambled to get my horse and Ethan's blanket. I jumped up onto my horse bareback before heading off in the direction I had seen Ethan disappear into. But with the disappearing light, it was much harder to track him down. Ethan! I called out to him over and over again. I had to find him. I made a promise to Mark. I promised to protect Ethan, and one that I had intended to keep. It took me a good long time to find him, but came upon a clearing in which I found him against a tree. I went up to him after dismounting and quietly put his blanket on his back with his journal by his knee. I said no words and respected his wishes of not touching him. The expression I wore was one of complete anguish and defeat. When I remounted my horse, I went to the far side of the clearing, still well within sight, but a good distance away. "Lounge, how are you doing? Thanks for coming." Yes, I appreciate your support. I'm doing well. I went to a book festival earlier, so I got some new books which make me excited. But yeah, how are you doing? Bohemian knows everybody. Ethan was involved with this relationship as much as Mark, but without Ethan, I failed to see how any of this could work, and that brought on an entirely different plan. It was the pain I always feared when it came to attachments. My promise and my love for the brothers were the only thing that kept me from taking off near to be seen again. I don't know, Bohemian. You do get around. Yes, I actually got three new books. They were signed by the author too. Um, I showed them earlier, but basically I got a like a fae book, a psychological one where a guy accidentally makes a cult, and then the other one is kind of like a King Arthur book. So so yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping there's supposed to be another one coming up in May that I may go to. So, so in my pain, I simply dropped my head and let the tears stream down my cheeks as my heart began to break. A fair bit of time had passed when I heard him cry out in pain. I wanted to go to him and comfort him, but every time I went to go to him, his words echoed from within my head. Each individual scream cut far deeper than my blade could ever do. My thoughts began to wander, and I began to contemplate what I would say to Mark when he came back. Although by this point I was starting to doubt that a romantic relationship with Mark would even work. I definitely had feelings for Mark, sure, but nor would I make the brothers pick between each other and me. That much I refused to do. I would leave before such a thing could occur. Oh, let's get the raffle going. I gotta figure out how to do automatic. I keep on forgetting. Let me actually write that down because I'll forget. Wait, what ventilation situation? You can help me? I would never turn down help, so it is greatly appreciated. Firebot. Firebot? Alright. Auto raffles. Okay, I got it wrote down. What? You're fine, Lounge. I enjoy talking to people, so Magna was farting. Oh my goodness. I was on his stream the other day, Bohemian. I don't know if he told you that. By the way, does he play a lot of League? I'm kind of familiar with League, surprisingly. Uh, I'm sorry, Corvin. I should have shut up and taken it. Ethan cried out in pain before he began to smash his head against the tree behind him. It wasn't long before a blood red stain began to appear on the tree he leaned up against. At this point, I completely disregarded his wishes. He was bleeding and badly. I ran over to him. Oh, dang, hold on. Let me do a shout out for Lounge. Um, not a video, just a regular one. But Lounge, I'll do a video when I get in between my chapters. I tried playing League a few times. I wasn't a fan of it. I'm not any good at it, to be honest. But I know somebody that plays it a lot, so I'm really familiar. At this point, I completely disregarded his wishes. He was bleeding and badly. I ran over to him and tore off my own shirt to immediately apply pressure to the wounds. Ethan, stop! Stop with this! I get that you don't like me. I get that you don't like sexual activity. And that's fine. I'll get over it. I will talk to Mark. I'm not I'm not going to come between you and your brother, Ethan. I won't make Mark choose sides. I gasped out lightly as it hurt so incredibly much to say it. I did not want to lose either of them, but if it meant their happiness survived, so be it. A stray tear rolled down my cheek as I continued to wrap up his wounds. I was terrified to look at Ethan in the eyes, but I continued to care for him regardless. Stop hurting yourself, Ethan, please. I know you shouldn't have just taken it. You did what I asked of you and told me you don't like it. And I respect that. Your pen is in the journal. I suggest you tell Mark what happened from your view. I stood up to leave him be and give him privacy as far as the journal went. I don't want Mark to pick. I want him to be happy. And I don't care if you two are together. I just can't stand to be told that I cause problems, that I am a problem between you two. I'm just sick of being a problem, Corvin. I don't like you like Mark likes you. I'm sorry, but Mark can still be my brother and your lover. I just don't want to be told I'm a problem anymore. Ethan said, explaining how he felt about the situation. I felt like an idiot for my choice of words. I had hurt Ethan just as he had hurt me. Ruffle. I stopped walking away, but I still didn't turn around so as to hide my pain. Ethan, when I said complicated, I was referring to my willingness to make things work for all of us. I accept that you don't like me in that way. I accept it. I just know that with the sudden switches, you might end up in the middle of one of those moments. I wanted to try and make it enjoyable for you two, just in case it happens. But I'm just a big stupid idiot. I can make fabulous medicine, but apparently I can't explain that I want to make things work for all of us. In my frustration and anger at him, I grabbed my hat and threw it across the meadow. But Corvin, you're not a big stupid idiot. I took that the wrong way. If anything, it's me who is the idiot. I overreacted and caused this mess. Truly, now that I understand, I should be thanking you for trying to make everything work. I'm sorry for getting things wrong. We could at least try and make everything work. I know Mark really likes you, and I mean a lot. I don't want to get between that, but I know that there likely will be moments where we switch. While you two are busy, we can work it, or I hope we can, for everyone. It's a bit of a weird situation, Ethan said through his own tears, but he seemed to be more understanding of the situation. Ethan's words made me glance back at him. I spoke with a soft sigh. All I want is to try and make this work between all of us. I thought I could make it enjoyable for you too. It'll be easier for us all, especially with our circumstances. I get you don't want to force Mark to choose between us. But if we can't make things work out for all three of us, then it will come down to exactly that. And having lost my brother some time ago, I definitely won't make him choose. I will leave first to make To make it so you don't lose each other, I should probably get back to my horse. You asked me to stay away after all. Get a drink here. Alright. Corvin, by doing that, you already have forced him to choose. By doing what you made that decision for him. I'm sorry for telling you to go. I didn't mean it, and I panicked and I ran. I'm sorry. We can try to make things work. Ethan apologized to me sincerely. From what I could tell, he wanted this arrangement to work out just as much as I did. I came back and sat down beside him on the ground. This whole situation had put me into agonizing emotional pain, but even so, I had been absolutely serious about Mark and Ethan. I don't want to cause issues between you and your brother Ethan. I'm completely fine with you being my apprentice and Mark being my lover. I have intense feelings for your brother that could become a whole lot more with time. I won't let it if it's just going to cause us all more pain. I said to Ethan, and he agreed to the suggestion I had made. Then I'm nothing more than your apprentice, whereas Mark is your lover. As for our switches, that we will have to figure out. Ethan smiled softly at me before wincing in pain at his injuries. I suggested that we head back to camp so that I can better tend to his wounds. Ethan, you should probably write your brother and explain what happened tonight. I'll explain as well about the arrangement we made, but you have to explain the injuries to him. I said as we rode back to camp together. Once there, I began to clean up his wounds. Corvin? Ethan said before holding up his injured hand. There may be a problem with the writing aspect of it. It just happens to be that this injured hand is my writing hand. Raffle. And it wouldn't be right if I wrote in it either. That's something special between you and your brother, not me. Well, when it's time, I'll explain to him. I just hope he understands. I was worried how Mark would react coming back into control after being forced out in the middle of heated passion, only to find new injuries amongst everything else that had occurred between Ethan and I. I guess my worry showed on my face as I redid some bandages because Ethan spoke up. I'm sorry, Corvin. I shouldn't have reacted the way I did. If for some reason he doesn't believe you, tell him memento mori. He will believe you then. I think for now, though, I'm going to get some sleep now, too. I looked on as Ethan made himself comfortable on the ground as best he could, to show that I truly harbored no ill feelings towards Ethan. I gently tucked in his blanket around him. I then stood up and sat over by the fire. After what happened today, there was no way in hell or high water that I would be able to sleep. Besides, I was needed more to watch over Ethan as he slept, especially with his fresh injuries. It was to be a relatively peaceful night, though as the crickets sang their song and the occasional bat swooped down over the fire. And that was chapter 19. Okay, let's do the video shout out. If he's still in here. Yeah, okay, good. Let's do a video shout out.
Let us know. Let us know, baby. Yeah. Oh, I like it. I like it. Let's go.
That's where you stop. I was about to ask where you got. Yeah, they are. I really like them. It's been a minute since I've been on there. Um not for any reason. I actually haven't. I think I only seen them like on there once or twice, like in the past couple weeks. But yeah, they're really good. The Jeopardy is fun to play too. So get a drink. All right. I don't think there was anybody else that came in, so I don't think so. Okay. So chapter 20 Aftermath. I don't know how 131 130. Okay. That's not very long. Okay. Bohemian, do you plan on continuing it? Oh man. I sound like an old person. Okay, I was just wondering. I mean, if it's not something you want to, you don't have to, you know? It won't be the first book you run to. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like don't I'm I'm in the belief that like if you're not really like into the book, I wouldn't like force yourself to read it. The only time I do that is if I'm like doing it for a review or something. Thanks, Little Mac. Little Mac, I can't really give y'all a shout out, which I'm a little tore up about. I mean, I could do your like that Little Mac, but I can't do your actual streaming account. DW? What's DW? I don't know what that is. Oh, don't worry. Okay. All right. I appreciate that Little Mac. I mean, that's true, but I mean, you're already like you've already read over 100 pages, so that's pretty decent amount. There you go. There you go, that Little Mac. He did his own shout out. Which, just a reminder, book club is coming up. I did post the poll in the channel. If you haven't voted, please vote so I know what book to do next. I mean, okay. Boom. All right. This chapter doesn't seem to be too long. So, we are 28% into the book. I watched. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. Side note before we start. So, okay, the other day I went to the library. All right, I made this book thing, but I didn't like how it turned out. But I went there again, and Bohemian, have you ever needle felt it? Because I know you do crafts and stuff. I just learned how to do it at the library. We made a snowman. I didn't finish mine because I had to come home and I was already kind of running late and stuff. But you wanted to. It's not hard. I learned how to do it. Yeah, I learned how to do it. You just have to be careful, apparently, because you could stab yourself. I did not stab myself, but anyways, I brought my snowman home And as soon as I set it down on the table, I wasn't even home for 30 minutes, not even 15 minutes. All right, one of my cats, this Sky, the black and white one, she jumped on the table and she stole it, and I haven't seen it since then. Yeah, I'm wanting to do more. Like, you could get the needles on Amazon, is what they told me. Amazon. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, yeah, Sky has a thing about stuffies. She likes to carry them through the house and stuff. But yeah, she stole my needle felted snowman that I spent 2 hours on, and I haven't seen it. So, let me look this up. So, you could get a thing. Oh, that's like 50. We don't need 50. Okay, so there's a felting needle. You get 8 needles. A pouch or a punch tool, and then you get the little protecting the finger protection things for like only $8 on Amazon. Yeah, she did. She really did. She took off with it, and I haven't seen it, so. But yeah, I wanted to try some more. Maybe not around the cats, because they'd be trying to steal it from my hands or something. Alright. Sorry. Side note. Something I wanted to learn how to needle felt, and I finally learned how. So that's cute. Lounge. Is that your dog? Oh, Raffle. Raffle. I have a picture that I posted in the Discord of. That's a cute dog. I didn't know that was your actual dog. I have a Husky Shepherd mix. Oh, wait. There you go. I was just about to do that. Bohemian beat me. So yeah, that's my dog right there. He's a Husky Shepherd mix. Last night when I wasn't feeling good, I was laying on the couch. I was literally laying in my living room with the lights out, but Sky, the black and white cat, she came and laid and slept with me. Benjamin? Wait, he's your profile picture too? How did I not notice that? Oh my gosh. Wait. He has a hat on. This is so cute. Yeah, thanks, Rambling. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. My plan is to read this chapter, and then that's probably when I'm going to go too. So I don't do long streams. My voice can't handle it, so. But I appreciate you coming. Oh, alrighty. Alright, let's continue. Chapter 20. Aftermath. I watched over Ethan as he gently snored, all bundled up cute in his blanket. It was in the early hours of the morning that Mark woke up groaning in pain. I looked over at him and smiled awkwardly. Hey there, Mark. Sorry if you are waking up in a bit of pain. I suppose I should go ahead and explain what happened after Ethan took over last night. Yeah, that would definitely be helpful, considering one moment I was in the middle of being brutally fucked and absolutely bless, and the next I'm groaning in pain, covered in wounds that hurt like holy hell. He said, putting a hand on the back of his head and hissing in pain, before taking the tea offered to him. I gave him a small smile to him before sitting down to explain all of the details of what had happened to Ethan. Well, Ethan came into control right about when I was claiming your tight little hole. As you can imagine, that got quite a bit awkward. And, well, we found out for a definite thing that he does not like me like you do, as a lover. When I mentioned that to him, he blew it out of proportion and thought I called him a problem. We came to an arrangement, though, Mark, despite all of that. I looked up at him to meet his gaze, although it terrified me to see what his reaction to Ethan getting injured again would be. This was the second time that he had been injured with me. The expression that Mark wore was one of pain and even fear, not the angry one I had been expecting to be presented with. Mama Puma, how are you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for the stash. That's good. That's good. I did. He came in here earlier and did it. Yeah. Thank you for switching with me though. I'm kind of glad that Spoons was willing to do it too. That's why I wasn't like too worried about getting first and stuff, so. Wait, you have the stash too? Where's the stash from? Yes. Well, I know Squatchin, I believe it was, he was trying to like slowly sneak up. I think he was trying not to like be obvious about it. And I don't remember who the other one was. From Jin? Who's Jin? Wait. Oh, yeah. I mean, I have bad memory anyway, so I forget everything. But a streamer? How do I not know the streamer then? If you and Mama Puma both know. Now I'm curious. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I'm gonna have to like look. Whoops, sorry guys. Gonna have to look now. I told you do. That's why I said the other night that you're gonna know who we raid. So, alrighty. I need to change. Rusty, how are you? Thanks for coming. How's your Saturday? Bohemia, that's not one of your cats. Mama Puma. No, you're fine. You're fine. I mean, you're not really late. As long as I'm not raiding out yet, I don't know if you could really consider it being late. Wait, what did you find on the internet? Now I'm concerned. I mean, that is true, Bohemian. That is true. I mean, Some people might consider our book a little weird, but that's okay. Especially when you have somebody sharing a body. Oh my goodness. I did not get I did not put that together. Hey, I like being a weird little fairy. Oh my goodness. Alright. Let's continue reading. So Rusty, basically I'm reading this chapter. I just started it. And then we'll be writing out, basically. Oh, thanks, Bohemian. Wait, you made the emotes? The word ones? Did you wait, what program did you use for that? I okay, I'm getting new emotes. Well, I'm getting new sub badges sometime this weekend, and then I'm getting some basic book ones, but so because like Rusty, it could definitely be considered that possibly. um so apparently book emotes is not a common thing, so I can't get them on like Etsy or anything like that. I have to have them custom made because nobody makes book emotes. So um okay, so our book, it it's not 50 Shades of Grey, but it does have some scenes in it. Um, we we read the other night some I don't even know what's the correct way to share it. Um, there's some scenes. It's a Waco Taco. Wait, what's a Waco Taco? On Canva? Okay, Mama Puma, thank you. Um, Taco. A Waco taco. I guess that's one way. Not normally. Not normally. Um, but I, I don't even know what to say. I can't even talk. No, I am not one, but this book very much is one. um, yeah, VJ was in here for the first scene, so that was interesting. There you go. Yes, thanks, Bohemian. I don't. I didn't want to like. I don't want to say anything offensive, you know. So so that's what it is, Rusty. It's yeah. Pineapple. Yes, Pineapple was in here for the first scene, like a couple weeks ago, but that one wasn't the same sex smut stuff. So he has. I don't think he's heard that. So yeah, I'm going to change the trigger warnings because I don't think they're 100% accurate. so yeah. Are you really? Well, this might be up your alley then. I don't know. So, all right, let's continue. Where was I? I read that. The expression that Mark wore was one of pain and even fear. By the way, there is a puzzle. I forgot. There's a puzzle for y'all to do we're um while I'm reading and stuff. You're a prude. No, you're not. um, Not the angry one I have been expecting to be presented with. And that arrangement is? He asked of me with a very shaky voice and a shaky hand. The arrangement is that Ethan is only my apprentice, which leaves you free to be my lover. We still have to figure out how to handle switches like that in the middle of our sex. He did not like it at all. I know that I didn't care for the fact that I unintentionally stole his virginity from him. I don't want you to lose him, but I do not want to force you to choose between us. I lost my brother. There is no reason for you to lose yours. I felt beyond horrible that I had stolen Ethan's first time from him. I would have wanted it to be so much different than what it had ended up being. I was greeted with a very surprised look from Mark. I am honestly surprised that was his first time. But as far as the arrangement goes, I could live with that. I just do not want to lose you, Corvin. I can't lose you at all. He was quiet for a moment before saying, Hey, I also think that we are meant to go to town today. Am I right? I nodded the answer of yes. My heart still ached from what almost happened. I had been so willing to let go of something I desperately wanted, and all just because I wanted him to be happy and not potentially lose his only family because of me. He gently shook my hand and kissed it tenderly before whispering, I love you, Corvin. I nearly choked up at hearing those words slip from his mouth. My heart skipped a few beats at hearing the confession of his love for me. Oh, my bad. Here's a raffle. I had been distracted by a train of thought that was wreaking havoc as Ethan's words ran wild in my head. So when Mark said those little words, it snapped me out of those thoughts and cracked through my hard shell. And as a blush crept up my neck, I softly said, I love you too, Mark. I confessed my own feelings for him. Feelings that had been developing for a few days at the very least. You do know that it will be a long walk into town, right? I asked of him before smirking at his soft little giggle, and I turned to look at him as he slapped a hand over his mouth. But he nodded and then glared at me as I called the giggle cute. It is not cute, Corvin, he tried to growl. That is true, Bohemian. I don't want to offend anybody, so I'm always worried about saying the wrong thing. But then again, sometimes you just never know what I'm going to say. You know, Mark, it would be much easier to ride. It would be kinder on your wounds, too, I said in a small attempt to get him to ride with me. The playful glare he gave me soon faded, though into a look of disappointment, and he hung his head. I reached out and put my hand on his shoulder. Mark, we do not have to ride this time. I'm only saying it will be faster if we do. And eventually you will need to ride, even if I just hold the reins, I said in an attempt to comfort his obvious nerves. Oh, thanks, Rusty. Bohemian. Can y'all okay, give me 2 seconds, cause like where I mentioned that I forgot my phone charger, my phone's about to die. So 2 seconds. It's just in the other room. Be right back. Okay. We're back, and actually, since I'm paused, and I forgot to do these before, we'll go ahead and do these real quick.
I don't know you. You gotta see. What's this about?
Oh, did you, Mama Kuma? Hold on. Doo-doo-doo.
Yep, definitely following.
And then let's do a video shout out for Rusty. There we go.
Okay, now
Alright, I'm looking at them right now, Mama Kuma. That's what it's there for, Bohemian. Shadow, how are you doing? Welcome in. Oh, okay, that looks cool. Oh, I like the stars coming from the book. I didn't know Canva had any. See, I'm not very... Oh, that's a little bee. Oh, I like that one with the vines and stuff. I appreciate. Thanks for coming, Shadow. You heard your voice. I did a video shout out of y'all. So let's get Shadow real quick too. Since I'm like in the middle, I had to get my phone and stuff.
I've never wanted to punch pussy so much in my life right now. Get fuck.
Thanks, Shadow. Have well, I don't know if work is really fun, but you're fine. All right. Hold on. I'm looking at these emote stuff. Emotes. I like the book ones. The rose. Are they all roses? Oh, okay. I see. So my sub badges, I'm getting here soon. I'll have to post them so I could show y'all. But it's a little weird It's a little bit different. Oh, you work with dogs? Wait, what do you do? I one time applied for a dog daycare. A doggy daycare. So my sub badges are kind of going to be a little bit different than others, I feel like. So like she's going to do different colors, but there's going to be like 2 bookworms, and then there's going to be 2 book dragons, and then 2 book fairies. And there's a reason behind that, because usually like when people start reading, they're considered like bookworms or whatever. And then book dragons hoard books, and then book fairies give books away. So they all kind of have a meaning in the book community kind of deal. So anyways, that's kind of where I got my idea on that. So alrighty. Sorry, I stopped. I got distracted. If we ride, will you go slow? He asked of me, and it was understandable as to why he was asking. Yes, I can go slow. I will warn you way ahead of time should we need to speed up. It will be faster and easier than walking too, I said as I tacked up my horse to prepare for this journey. I expected that Mark would choose not to ride, but I was pleasantly surprised to see him stand up and put his hand on my shoulder to steady himself. Before mounting up on my horse, scooting forward enough to leave room for me, upon taking my place behind him, I could feel just how tense he really was. You're going to send me a video? Is it like a house that you cleaned? Oh, raffle. Carefully and slowly, I pulled Mark's hip back into me. I put my mouth to his ears. Relax, my love. Use the movement from the horse to get me hard for you. We are kind of squished up here anyway, so no one will notice what you do anyway, I said in an attempt to go through and help him relax a bit and give him something to focus on. But I set off towards town with the horse going at a fairly slow pace. His grip was still tight on the reins, but slowly he began to grind back to me. With his skills, it did not take him long at all to get me hard. Did you send it already, Bohemian? Should I look? Oh, Mama Puma. I like that read and raid. Hey, Moogie.
I can't.
Come up here. Can you come up here?
Yeah,
Thanks
they're
for the raid.
directly behind me.
This is a good spot. Oh, I'm getting looked at. Sniper out here. 69
Close your
on him.
tab.
35 crack.
Oh, I see him 38.
Yeah, he went out in the ice.
30.
I gotta reload. Hold on.
Knock him, he's done.
Nice.
Wow, that was an insane shot. I need to clip that.
Insta kill?
Yeah.
It's a little loud.
How do I clip?
Thanks, Moogie, for the raid. How was your stream? I had your tab pulled up, but I closed it now. Did you have a good stream and stuff? Absolutely, it was fun. What did you play today? I don't remember. I kind of I had to pull your tab up, but then get all my stuff ready. Yes, go have dinner. Go have dinner. Go eat some food. I'm really bad about eating before my streams and stuff, so I understand. Are you? A lot of people I feel like has been playing Final Fantasy. Food is needed. Yes, it is. I have a tendency, especially on Saturdays, Like, for some reason, I get up on Saturdays and then I don't want to eat until like 2, 3 o'clock. And then it's like I mess myself up because I stream at 3. Yeah, I really like the raid, the read and raid. Like, that's cool. That'll be a cool, like, raid thing. Shh. I don't. Fairy time. See, I cannot do Canva. Do you have the pro version? I bet Mama Puma has the pro version. See, I don't have the pro version. Anyways, yes. But what? Yeah, I don't think I've ever did the trial. I should probably look into it. So, I tried using Canva before, and I just think I was like confused by it. But I tend to do a lot of, like, are you familiar with like Pixlr? Wait. Do you not have to report until you make 2K a year? Is that correct? Thanks, Mama Puma. I appreciate it. Pixlr is like another like Photoshop program. That one I use a lot. I make my graphics from there. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it's like 600 or whatever. Oh. Okay, I see. Yeah. I think okay, so for my cleaning business, like I have to do that, and it's they say 600 for that. Yeah. You're just here for looks. I'm assuming that it's supposed to be books. Okay, so real quick for the Raiders, I'm Legacy Bookish, and I'm not your typical streamer. I actually stream books. So if you like books, I'm all for that, and I love talking about books. So looks? You really meant to say looks? Oh, dang. That's crazy. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a while before I get anywhere near that. Wait, you used to do taxes for people? Were you a tax person? Do, 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 do. I have the song stuck in my head. Your aunt was? Oh, that's so cool. Finding a good tax person is very difficult. Yeah, I can't sew. I don't know how to sew. I never learned. Bohemian, you're a troll. That's okay. Okay. Alright, we're going to continue. Okay. You are making me want you so badly, Mark. I slid my hand up and down his thigh occasionally, slipping it to be on his inner upper thigh. Whenever I cupped him, he would buck his hips into my hand, letting out a gaspy moan. I think it would be best if we took a little time to ourselves. He quietly moaned out for me. I gave this some serious thought. I knew we were getting close to town, so the risk was great. But that exact risk of being discovered, I found to be such a turn on for me. Yeah, I think it would be good for us, but keep in mind, it would have to be quick and silent. Upon finding a small clearing, Mark hopped off the horse before pulling his pants down for me. It truly was a glorious sight for me to see him like that. All just for me. The pace we set for this was one in which we both struggled to keep our mouths shut and our sounds of pleasure to a minimum. Small, desperate, gasping moans escaping my throat. A small scream escaping his. Loud enough that I slapped my hand over his mouth. You've got to stay quiet, or we'll have to stop, Mark, I said as I kept my pace, wanting to get both of us off. I reached around and began to stroke him, off in time with my own thrusts. I moaned into his ears, and that was when I heard it. Horse hoofs. The horse was up on the road, but unfortunately far too close for us to finish quickly and still be safe. We were close enough that I could see the horse and its rider through the trees. I directed Mark to look through the trees to the rider. I groaned as I pulled out of Mark and quickly helped him pull up his pants. We will get more time back at camp, my love, I said, trying to reassure him as he whined and whimpered. I knew he hated that this time had gotten interrupted as well as the last time. We were both painfully hard as we cleaned ourselves up and mounted up on the horse together once more. Mounting up behind him, I was carefully to avoid rubbing up against Mark. Besides, we were far too close to town for us to safely show the true nature of our affection for each other. Mark, we are close enough to town that if you want, then you can walk, I said and sighed softly as he dismounted. I hated that we could not be in public about our love. It sucked, but the closed-minded people around us would gladly kill us if they knew. Their fear of our disease was absolutely insane. I knew that their fear was completely unfounded and brought on by just the religious zealots who spread fear and understanding. Raffle. I kept that on there, so it was like a reminder for me. I kept my nerves down as we worked through the town. This was the town in which I had lost my last lovers. I made a point to avoid going by the location of the inn so as to not lose my nerves. Although my heart ached to be in this town, I longed to get away from it and quickly. But supplies were needed lest we starve and go without medicine. Mark was able to find the black and white shirts he desired, as peculiar as they were. We did not have a spot of fun in with the books, and I would tease him with books that gave him some interesting hints as to what I desired. The physical affection that I wanted from him, it always made him whine and then blush a beet red. While he kept busy with those supplies and getting the books he wanted, I made the decision to make a more formal apology to Ethan. I came back holding a canvas wrapped package and carefully slipped into my saddlebags. Once we had everything packed up, I took notice of Mark's nerves as to the upcoming ride. Mark, if you want to walk for a bit, you can do so. I completely understand. I murmured loud enough for him to hear before grabbing the reins of the horse. But it will be a lot quicker if we ride, he said as I began to lead the way back to camp. However, it took me a moment before I realized that Mark was not beside me. Get lost emo? Oh my goodness. I mean, the book looks really cool. Did you add the colors too? I stopped and looked around for him, worried that he had gotten away from me. I turned around to look behind me, and there he was, back where I had left him. Only now he was scratching and picking at his arms. I immediately made my way back to his side as I realized what had happened and what he must have thought. I felt bad about the situation. Mark, I thought you were right beside me. I was trying to be considerate of you and your fears. I wanted to hold him and reassure him that I had not been trying to abandon him. I truly have been trying to be courteous towards him. I helped him up and began to walk us both out of town. Dusk, how are you doing? Oh, wait. Wait, so is Dusk not on? I'm so confused. Oh. Well, tell her I said hi too. Tell her that we miss her. We're just reading our Plague Doctor romance. Aw. Is it like nighttime for y'all, or is she like taking a nap? She's napping. Well, I hope she has a good nap. Hopefully it's not like my nap yesterday. Mine was not good. She needs it. Yeah. I took a nap yesterday and then I woke up with a massive headache. Don't know what happened, but yeah. Well, hopefully she's okay then. And if anything else, I could see her probably next week. You know, when I stream and stuff. So, alright. We were just barely out of sight of town, but anyone could turn a corner. Wait, did I read this? No, I haven't. Okay. Wait, has she been in the hospital? I did not know that. Is she okay? Is she on like Discord? Like if I could reach out to her to see to check on her? She's doing better. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's rough though. Being in the hospital is rough in general. She don't have a phone right now? Okay. Well, I guess I'll just have to keep an eye on, like, when I see her next time. Hopefully she continues getting better and doesn't end up in the hospital. We were just barely out of sight of town, but anyone could turn a corner and see us, and I could not risk any real affection just yet. I'm sorry. Mark stuttered out, crying and bleeding as he fell to his knees. I'm sorry. I don't know if I want to walk or ride. I'm scared, Mark said, and I dropped my head in response to this. Stories, how are you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for coming. How's your Saturday going? How is your situation better too from the other day? Okay, I'll keep going. Wait, were your kids not feeling better? I was there another situation? Because I thought there was something like with some project. I think. Oh, well, I'm glad that they're feeling better. I feel like everybody's getting sick lately. Cozy. I should get some cozy emotes actually, especially for Saturdays. Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Actually, I just went to like an indie author book festival today, and I got 3 new books. Hey, it's all right, but we can't stay here, Mark. We got to go get back to camp and get those wounds looked at. Let's ride back to camp so you can feel safe once more, I said as I helped him up off the ground with a little extra coasting. I was able to get him up on the horse as well. He kept a knuckled grip on the reins, but eventually leaned back against my chest, which seemed to help him out a bit. I remained steady behind him and became the strong tree for him to lean against. I wanted nothing more than to gallop back to our safe place, but knew full well that I would likely give him a heart attack. So instead, I kept talking softly to him. Mark, what really had you worried back there? I wanted to help, but I need to know what happened first so that I might fix it. Oh, okay, so it's not. Oh, okay. So, well, either way, whatever Dusk is going through, I hope she starts feeling better, and she's able to work out whatever is going on. Um, it's hard going through anything, not just sick. Well, I mean sickness, but you know, anything like that too. All right. Um, I thought I'd be disappointed you with that. I wanted to talk, and that you were leaving. I don't want you to go. Mark's voice was shaky, and it was obvious that he was terrified. No, Mark, I wasn't leaving you behind. Actually, I thought you were with me. I just thought you were being quiet, I said, but inside I was extremely disappointed in myself. Emotionally, I sunk deep into myself. I felt horrible for making Mark think that I was leaving. I lowered my head, thankful that he could not see my face, and nuzzled into the side of his head softly. I truly did cherish this man with all my heart. I never wanted to hurt him. I let me do the shout outs real quick. That is true, Bohemian. I don't think a lot of people realize either. When I get at the end of the chapter, I will totally do I will do the video shout outs for everybody. Who was the other person? Oh. There we go. Alright. As we got closer to our camp and much further away from the judging, prying eyes of society, he began to grind back against me, slowly and gently teasing me. It definitely got a reaction out of me, and I even began to get hard. Be careful, or else we might have to finish what we started earlier, my love. I murmured into his ear as I slid my hand over his bulge to tease him in return, letting him know just how much I wanted him. We, however, arrived back at camp before things got too serious between us, and I contemplated walking the horse in circles just to keep hold of this moment for a little longer. Jugger, how are you doing? How's your Saturday? Thanks for coming. If you give me like a minute, when I get at the end of this chapter, I'll do a video shout out. So, I'm doing the text ones probably like while I'm reading. Hold on, what did you say? That is true. That's true, Bohemian. I don't want to sound horrible when I say this, but I have ran into like older people that have that thinking though, unfortunately. It's 12 a.m. It's only 6 p.m. I'm literally just I have 2 paragraphs left. Oh, somebody else doing the puzzle? That's good. Can we stop the horse? Mark asked of me, and stop we did. Helping him down, I softly said, Mark, I love you. I never want to lose you, or hurt you. I admitted feelings for him that I knew in my heart were true, but words that now, if anything did happen, I will likely never recover from that pain. I love you too, Corvin. Can I... Never mind. He began to ask me a question, but stopped short of it and hung his head. He began to walk away, and I assumed he was exhausted from the day's events as he went over to his bedding and curled up. My heart went out to him, and I really did want to know what he wanted to ask of me. Oh. 6 p.m. Because that's the same time it is for me too. Which I just found out, thanks to Bohemian, that Canada apparently is on the same time zone. When he said never mind, I got confused and it kind of stung. So I went to grab my bedding and moved it next to his and combined the bedding. Scared of my feelings for Mark, for another man. None of my prior relationships with men had ended well. Usually one night stands or sucking someone off, and in the end, they always left me. It still terrified me that Mark might do the same to me. I lay beside him, but was afraid of his reaction to me holding him. I lay facing the opposite way with my back to him. I scooted back to well within arm length of his back, but under my blanket I had reached back with my foot and hooked his with mine. It terrified me that I might still be rejected. I wanted to love and hold him. I lost myself in my thoughts. My preference for all genders had always caused problems, and the fact that I liked men made it more complicated for me. Okay. So let's switch screens. That's it. That's where I'm stopping for right now. So yeah. A recap of from earlier and stuff. So yeah. So we just basically read